How to spray the high vibrations. The high vibrations. Coming to you live and direct today. I don't know why my accent is like this today, y'all. But we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. We got a new moon tomorrow. We got a new moon coming up tomorrow. So I'm definitely going to be sharing some information. And like always, the people who subscribe will get the opportunity to get access to the lives unlimitedly. So I'm going to be inviting a very special guest on the live with me. She'll be coming on here shortly.
Oh shit. How you looking at my cat, Oliver?
Hi,
Hey,
Polly. How are ya?
what's up?
Nothing much.
You look crude. You look crude. I don't look crude.
I feel
Look,
cute
where
and I'm
my crude
cute
feels at?
only because of you. So let me go on and shout out my jeweler today. It's the
Oh
opulence.
yeah.
It's the opulence for me.
I know that's right. Oh, you look good. Look at that. Look at that. Swing that thing. Swing that thing. Swing that thing.
Okay.
It looks
Hey,
good. I
Saran.
love it. I
Hey,
love it.
Saran. Hey, everybody that is on here during this time. Listen, we about to have some fun. I have so much to share. Like the new moon is tomorrow.
We'll
First
do
and
that.
foremost, can you introduce yourself, please,
Yeah.
darling?
Hello, everyone. My name is Havootu. Well, my name is Crystal. I go by Havootu on Instagram, and I am from Houston. I'm 30 years old. I am an artist. I am a creator, all the things, devotee of the mother goddess, and I'm here.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
here.
Exactly. And she made these amazing earrings.
Yeah.
This amazing necklace that I'm rocking today for you all. That's
Uh,
amazing, Teron. I'm so proud of you. Thank God that you were able to travel and create. Like he's traveling and performing. If y'all don't know who T Hill for real is, make sure you check him out. He's in the comment section. He's an amazing artist. Let me say that one more time. He is an amazing artist, amazing, beautiful vocals. And make sure you follow him, check him out, see what he has going on, check out his music, support him. Make sure you check out our guest right now as well, who is also my friend. So I want to talk about this new moon tomorrow. I want to know how you feel about it. What are you feeling going on in the world right now that you feel like could be a message to share?
to be honest, I'm gonna be real 100% honest with you. I don't be keeping up with the moon.
It's
I
all is
don't.
well.
You know what? I tend to just go off on how I'm feeling right now. So Mother Flo is in right now, and she came through with the hurricane force winds.
Exactly.
So I'm feeling very vulnerable. I'm feeling very open, and I'm feeling very powerful. So if that is what equates the new moon, then I'm here for it.
I want you to know
Here.
that's how I do it. Like I am versed on a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I know enough about astrology to conduct conversation. However, I go off how I feel. Intuitive beauty goes off her intuition. What is my intuition saying? So my intuition is saying the same. My intuition is saying, for when I am on my moon cycle as well.
Yeah.
Usually I flow with the full moon, but this month has been very serious. And usually I notice that I feel before it starts. So like I've been feeling the presence of the new moon energy ushering in before it started all week. It's been lots of healing.
Yeah.
It's been lots of vulnerability emotionally. It's been lots of surrender to emotions that I've suppressed for so long and embracing my shadow self as well.
Yeah.
Embracing my shadow self, being present during this time of vulnerability and not Not
Right.
biting the heads off of people that are used as just simply vessels
Trying
that
to be like that though.
right, right? Because
Yeah,
a lot
don't
of
push me
times
like
when
that.
people are used and they're used to trigger us, to trigger an opportunity for healing, we often bite their heads off when a lot of times they're just being used to help us grow.
And sometimes I feel like we as women especially, we tend to be a little bit more meek and mild when it comes to stuff that bothers us. We probably won't say. And I feel like during those times when somebody want to try me, like you got the right day. But I feel like sometimes it's just you can't take another moment of just holding yourself, holding back what it is you want to say, maybe for someone else's feelings, or you don't want to, like, sometimes I feel that way. I don't want to cause a problem. I don't feel like arguing, so I just won't say anything. But on those days, I can't hold back. And I feel like it's a lesson to me that I shouldn't as much. So I can take accountability for that for sure. Yeah.
It's been a lot of that. I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I'm the one that be saying it and it
Yeah.
be like, you probably shouldn't have said that, Jazz, or probably, yeah. I mean, ever since I was
Yeah.
young, like literally, I would get in trouble for my mouth. So I
And
would be
you
the
know
one
what?
saying what everybody thinking, but ain't nobody saying it. So I'm
Yeah.
like, well, nobody. I would get in trouble for it. And I'm like, well, y'all know y'all feel it too. Why nobody else
Yeah.
saying it?
Yes. And you
So
know
that was
what? A
more
lot
me.
of that is what stopped me from saying stuff, because I would get in trouble a lot for, like, oh, you a child, especially since I was the youngest. And so they were like, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. You a child, stay in child plays. Go over there, play with something. And I would a lot of times just be like, oh, let me just not say anything because ain't nobody gonna listen anyway. And now I'm on the opposite end of shooting out of that now, where I can't hold it in anymore. It just comes out. I'm like, oh, shouldn't I? Oh, I probably, But especially during those times, it's just a little bit more triggering, I guess, when somebody says something that don't fly, don't sit well with me. So I totally get it, girl.
So that's what I've been feeling for this new moon. I've been feeling like we're all collectively, and then we're in a retrograde. We're all collectively doing shadow work. Which is, if you don't know what shadow work is, it is working through your ego perspective of yourself. It is working through your darkness and choosing to make the best decision and understanding what the darkness really is in the first place. Sometimes we go through the darkness and we like to stay there, but we can't really stay too long in the darkness, and we really can't even stay too long in the light. It's really important to be in that middle ground, that
Right.
neutral state, which is what I feel like overall that's been the synopsis for this new moon. Do the shadow work, but don't stay in the shadows. Shine your light. Come in the middle. Use your experiences of what doing the shadow work has taught you and share those lessons with other people to grow as well. But don't share it in an egotistical way
Right.
that puts you in the limelight as though you're the greatest person in the world and you don't have to ever go through nothing. You're the guru. You can tell everybody how to live their life, but you ain't being vulnerable. But be
Yeah.
transparent. Be vulnerable. Just tell it like it is. Like, look, yesterday I set it off and maybe I shouldn't have handled it that way, but
Yeah.
I felt triggered and I got to the root of why I was triggered. And now that I didn't got to the root of that, the next time I'm triggered with that situation, I will approach it much more different. I won't let it, take me all the way into the darkness because I know how far the darkness goes now. And I
Yeah.
got to the root and I cleaned up at the root. So now that I'm in the middle with it, I can tell you how dark it is, and I can tell you why I'm choosing to stay right here. Because if I go down here again, it's not good for me or you. And if
Yes.
I go way up here,
Yeah.
that's faking it, and I can't even fake it. I got to tell you what it is. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at with it.
And I definitely feel that right now. I think you probably see that in my little lives where I do. Or I run in my mouth. I do. I feel like I'm just in a space of flow and just breaking down those walls that I've had, which we kind of talked about that a little bit, just pulling the veils away and revealing the true self. I feel like for a long time, there was a lot of resentment I had for myself within myself, and I didn't really understand why. And I feel like now it's because of all of the hiding and all the faces, the many faces that we as people, but I can speak for myself, would tend to put on. And it's not real. And it's just whenever I would feel myself going there, I could feel a inner, what's the word? Not disdain, but just like, ugh, like, who are you? Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Why? Why are you even going there? And now as I'm pulling away those layers, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to really feel this girl. Like, I think I really like, no, I love her. Like, I think I'm in love with her. It's like really re-understanding who I am and why the mother created me the way she did, and just seeing her vision and understanding that it was definitely much greater than whatever I felt that was better than what I am now. So I'm going into the I'm kicking into the flow. It's
Ooh.
happening slowly but surely, but I love where it's going and I don't want to stop. I just want to keep going in whatever direction it is, and everything else is just falling to the wayside. It's not as important as it was, and she's putting something on my heart that really, I'm trying to find the words, I'm sorry. But
Take your
she's putting
time.
something, a new direction on my heart that I know is going to take me into a different trajectory than I was going. And I'm just ready to explore that. I'm just like on the cusp of something new. So I don't know how to fully explain it yet, but it's coming.
You're
It's coming
explaining it
for
well. When we think about
sure.
new moons, that's planting the seed for something to be birthed. So
Yeah.
collectively, we all are feeling that way. And I will
Yeah.
tell you what has helped me collectively over the years with that is being a child when it comes to those situations, like embracing my inner child. Because what I found is when I get to the root of why I stopped doing XYZ or why I even put the mask up in the first place, it was because as a child, I was told this. As a child, I saw this. My environment molded me to think that I needed to be this way because I wasn't accepted in the pure expression that I was.
Right.
People try to change me and make me conform to, what they wanted me to be. They wanted me to dim my light in a way that would make them feel comfortable. And so I suppressed and I put on a mask and I gave people what I thought they wanted. But then I realized, like you said, when you speak about the mother, that is the other aspect of God, the creator, the feminine aspect of the creator. And with that being said, that is the ability to just say, you know what? People don't know what they want and they don't know what they need. People think that they know what they want, they think they know what they need, but what they really need is the truth. But
Right.
I've learned it's a matter of how do you give the truth. The mother gives the truth in a loving, nurturing way. She puts you in her arms. She wraps you around her big arms. And like I'm talking about big arms because we talking about if I was to imagine what mother looks like, I don't think mother
I
is
feel it.
you know what I'm gonna
Yes.
say, a
Yes, she's
heavy
sticky.
set woman. Some big old arms. The arms come
Mm-hmm.
around me, and like
Soft. She's
mother cook good
warm.
food.
Yes.
Mother got all the good sense.
Yes.
Mother got all the best quality, this, that, and the other. Mother got on the best perfume. Mother wrapped you in her arms, and she's warm and she's soft,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like,
Exactly.
"It's gonna be okay, baby." You know.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that
For
feeling,
sure.
I like to really bask in that feeling when I'm doing the shadow work and taking the mask off, and crying like, "Mama, but they told me I had to be. They told me I was too much." You
Yeah,
know.
exactly. It's exactly how I feel for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, the mother definitely comes in the form of, she's very suggestive in a way. She never tells me what I need to do because she know that I'm not gonna do it. I'm not the type to just follow, I gotta do me, I gotta be a rebel, you know what I'm saying? And so she don't do that. She'll just make little suggestions and she'll plant little seeds and she'll let me sit and marinate on it and just let it simmer in me a little bit. And then I'm like, and just new things will come up. Now she's saying, I want you to really focus on what's bubbling up to the surface, what's the things that you're feeling called to, the things you're feeling pulled to you. So sometimes I feel pulled to being dancing. Before I would question a lot of that stuff, like, this ain't finna do nothing, or this ain't finna make no money, or this ain't finna fuck all that shit. I want you to go to where you feel drawn to, and sometimes that's dance, and sometimes that's making jewelry, sitting for hours watching The Addams Family. Yes. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's just sitting, and sometimes it's writing. Sometimes it's sitting on the floor playing with my cats. Sometimes it's going out and being in nature like I did this weekend. And it was wonderful, but I'm feeling it today for sure. But those little things, and I could see it's like the breadcrumbs. I can see where it's leading me to something more amazing that I wouldn't have imagined for myself. And it's I just feel like a little kid. I'm like, ooh, what's new? What's next? What's this next thing? Is where's it gonna lead me? Where I'm just like a little kid on the cusp of something wonderful. Like, oh, what's that card? You know what I'm talking about, the tarot. Oh shit, the Fool. Feel a little bit like the
Uh-huh.
Fool on a
Okay.
new path, and it's like I don't know where it's gonna lead me, but I know that something is gonna be there to catch my next foot. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm on that tip right now.
In
For
this
sure.
moment, I'm like, I remember like it was yesterday, the very first day that it was like that breaking point. Why am I telling people what they want to hear again? Why am I not, although my beliefs are different from everybody around me, why am I not embracing that? Like, why am I hiding that I have experienced such healing with using crystals? Why am I hiding my nature from people? What is the fear? Like, what is the fear of that? And then I started to learn about the chosen ones. I started to learn about the black sheeps. I started to learn about the great prophets over time that had to carve a new path, and no one else was doing it, but there were signs and wonders everywhere leading them along the way. The great mother and also the great father left an impact in the world through other individuals that walk this path like us, to
Right.
show us like, hey, you're not crazy. That's a big one. You are not crazy. The things that you are seeing, the ability that you have to see through illusions or veils is not crazy. It is veiled for those that have not been chosen. Because think about it. You give a child that doesn't, I'm going to say this, two children. A mother and a father realize they have two children, right? They know one child's more mature than the other, so they would give money. If the two children walk into the store, they would give the money to the child they know is more mature to hold on to for both of them to make sure they're able to get what they're going to the store for, right? They
Right.
would give it to the child that they feel like is most mature, most equipped, most skilled. So a lot of the gifts that we all have is not just, it's not a curse. It's like, oh, woe is me, I have this gift. It is the great mother and the great father gave you these gifts because you could be trusted with them, because
Right.
you have within you, whether you have awareness of it or not, you have within you tools, skills, a skill set, or a few multiple skill sets. You have abilities within you that may be dormant. And so I speak to the dormant gifts within you and I activate them right now at this word sound. By this word sound, I activate the dormant gifts within you
Yeah.
that you have been given in order to walk in who you are, because you were chosen for a reason. You have everything you need. It is not the thing outside of self, it is the thing within self. And that's what I've come to understand. Like, because I can go on. The great mother to me, she just flows and flows and flows. We could be talking for hours, okay? Because she's always talking to me. And what she's saying right now in this moment, and I would love to hear feedback from you, Crystal, is she's saying to me, which is what you said, let it flow. Like, you are always going to be abundant with opportunities. You're not missing anything. You're not, time is not passing you by to where you're missing opportunities of greatness for you, because there will always be another opportunity. You have another opportunity every new moon to plant the seed that was watered before, that may have died. Maybe you didn't water it enough throughout the month and it died. You have a new opportunity this tomorrow, today, in this present moment. You have a new opportunity right now to replant that seed, Take the wisdom and the knowledge that you gained from the last time you tried to plant that seed. When you go to plant it this time, show up for yourself. You know, create a spiritual routine every day, whether it is a small practice of affirmations, or whether it is a big practice of actually doing yoga and listening to sound healing, or playing a sound bowl, or journaling before you start your day. Whatever that looks like for you with where you are, plant the seed. And every day as you water it, you will notice, you will look up and you will see, wow, look what has sprouted within, because I've taken those little small steps every day to water that seed, and look at what has been able to be harvested at the full moon time. So
Yes.
I would love to hear your feedback on that.
And I receive all of that activation, okay? Because I need it. And I could definitely feel all of that and everything else awakening within me. And I'm so proud of myself for sure. And it was something that you said that I wanted to go back to. I know you've told me before that your story started out with, I believe you had a near-death experience, right? Yeah, for me, it was the S word. I don't know if we can say that on here on Instagram, but suicide. You know what I'm saying?
Huh?
Suicide.
Oh, okay, I got
Yeah,
you,
I
got you.
don't know if
We
we
can
can say.
talk
I
about
don't
that. We can
know
talk
because
about
I
that.
know
We can talk
Instagram
about that.
be kicking people out for stuff like that. But yes, that for me it was definitely that. Even more recently, just before I left my job, that was very, and I'm feeling what you call it. I'm feeling the pull to talk about it, but I'm still feeling a little because
It's
it's
somebody on
very
here that needs to
it's
hear
it's
it.
very fresh. It's still
It's in
very fresh.
alignment. It's in
Yeah,
alignment. You are loved and you are supported.
thank you. And for me, it's just I believe I not believe I know that the pull towards that during that time was just being totally out of alignment with what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, and just that feeling of not feeling like I belong here. I always feel like this place just don't make sense. It just I don't know. It's like I have over the years I've activated these memories of times before now, before this life. And I can't help but to see how things were where I was, like all of the way things are now, like it just doesn't make it's like I'm in a twilight zone. And all of that combined into one pulled me into that state where I was very close, the closest I had ever been to dying. And I could feel all the beings around me just panicking in a way because like we've gotten you to this point. We don't want you to go to the edge. We don't want to go to you to go too far. So they definitely pulled me back. And when I left my job, I feel like um that was the awakening of everything that's happening now. It's like it needed, I'm understanding that it needed to happen like that to be able to move to where I am now. And I feel like everything has been on a hyper speed ever since then. And now looking back over that time and seeing where I am now, it's like something in my heart had to break. It had to crack and allow me to be open enough to receive what the mother had to say for me. And it was really heavy for a while. But when I got to my house and I didn't have to go to work, I didn't give a fuck about how much money I have or didn't have, and that was another huge lesson. I was always worried about, oh, how I'm gonna afford this and that, and everything just came into alignment where all of my bills were paid somehow, even though I didn't have any money. And that was the biggest lesson she taught me. She's like, you can't be choosy about where it comes from. Just know that it's coming. Just know that there's more on the other side of this, that this isn't the end where you are, I was, once I started really walking the path and just seeing how beautiful things could be in her arms and in my own presence, and just not having to be all of these things for anybody, but just to be me for myself is so freeing. It was so freeing. And now I just want more of that. And I'm like, how can I have more life like that? Where I'm waking up every day and every day the weather was just like perfect to sit outside. It was just the perfect time. Like things that just seemed like something just went so wrong to make everything go so right in that moment. And even the job that I have now, I'm not crazy about, but it was a blessing because I didn't have to do anything to get it. Like normally jobs make you wait for long periods of time. It's like the next day I went and then the next day I was hired. You know what I'm saying? It was just like a beautiful procession. And just like I said, just watching, I don't know why I'm having to talk about this, but I just felt called to talk about it. Just watching the breadcrumbs of how she's pulling me into a new version of myself that I feel like I deserve to be in. So I receive all of that love. I feel like I'm getting so much love right now. I can feel all the spirits in my house because my house kind of haunted. But I feel all the spirits in my house. They just surrounded me, and it's just so much love. And I really hope that who's ever watching this is receiving this and really is speaking to your heart that just because things feel and probably are horrible right now, that there's something more if you allow that heartbreak to be filled. So let all that other stuff out and let the rest be filled in by whatever higher power that you believe in, or even if it's just being filled with yourself, because I know not everybody, some people are atheists. And so if being with yourself is the most powerful thing that you can be, then do that. But allow yourself to be filled with that love and that positivity and knowing that the steps are going to form wherever you go. And I think that's all I have to say. I just feel I just felt compelled to say that. And I really hope that's helpful to somebody and that you feel the love coming from the mother through me. I hope so.
I am so honored.
Yeah.
I feel so honored right now, because first and foremost, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your truth and your testimony of how the mother was able to take you, reshape you, and how you're, blossoming right now, and how you were able to overcome the dark night of the soul.
Yes, and I thank you so much for giving your platform. Look, forcing me to get out here. No, I'm just playing.
I
You
want
ain't
you to
forcing
know
me, but you extended the hand to do so, and I really appreciate that so much.
I
For sure.
can't even take full credit because this is the mother. This is the mother and the father's platform. I too was, experiencing my dark night of the soul, and like, why am I here? What is this? Don't nobody have the same type of heart as me.
Yeah.
What is my purpose here? And I was holding on for so long, family. I was like, okay, well, when I have my own family, you know,
Mm-hmm.
then it will make me feel like I've arrived. When we think about manifesting, right? Manifesting things in our lives, or thinking that when we get something in this world that we're going to arrive at a feeling. But me coming to understanding that there's nothing to compare to the feeling of God's love,
Yes.
the creator's love, whatever term you put on the universe, the creator of the universe, whatever term you put on, that it's nothing that can replace that love. And in those moments where we were on the floor, or we were, experiencing our dark night of the soul, that was when we were picked up and our minds were renewed, and we were able to recognize and gain so much awareness. It's like you go through, it's an ego death.
Right.
It's an ego death. You go through lots of ego deaths in life where you feel like you're about to jump over the ledge, and you find that when you jump, you fly.
Yes. For sure.
Why butterflies is my favorite animal symbolism. A lot of
Yeah.
the times where I personally felt like, okay, this is the breaking point. I broke through that next level, and I flew into other opportunities, and other things just flowed to me. And same with you. I think that is so beautiful when we share our expressions and what we've overcame. And I'll say the word suicide. I look at things that come to try to distract or deter us from God's will as spirits. There's lots of spirits. Not everything has a soul, but everything has a spirit. Some spirits are benevolent and some spirits are not benevolent. And when I identify the spirit of suicide comes to deceive us and to try to distract us before we're about to experience a major breakthrough. I find that the spirit of suicide, when you speak to it directly and you get strengthened, you're able to identify, like you said, you're able to identify at the times you're getting closer to that spirit trying to overtake you, and you stand in your authority, and you get stronger and stronger to speak to that spirit, and you find yourself warring in your house, in front of your altar, or in your closet. You find yourself warring with that spirit, and you find yourself in a space of surrender eventually. And I will say, with my experience with the spirit of suicide, it definitely comes at a time when you're about to experience a breakthrough. So if you are listening to this live and you are experiencing a warring with the spirit of suicide, just know that you're not fighting alone. You have a heavenly staff, you have archangels, you have ancestors, you have so many benevolent spirits that are your guides, that are warring for you on your behalf, and they cannot assist you until you stand in your authority and ask for their help. Everybody, whether you're aware of your spirit guides or your ancestors or your angels or any of your heavenly staff, if you're not aware of them by name, you can always research. You can inbox me, you can inbox Crystal, I'm sure, and ask these questions, because they are the ones that are fighting in the higher realms, and they have more power than you. This body can only house so much power. So it's like you do what you can, you war with the spirit as much as you can. And then there comes a point of surrender. And then you stand in your authority and you ask God to orchestrate your heavenly staff to fight on your behalf. And then you find that you can experience this warring through prayer. You can experience it through burning sage throughout your house, cleaning up stuff, throwing stuff away, quitting jobs, breaking up relationships that are toxic, telling people the truth after you've been holding it in for so long and they've been stressing you out. Whatever that expression of warring is, but I identify that as warring with the spirit. And at the end of the day, whether you're aware of your purpose in life or not, if you identify that you were chosen and you know that you have a higher calling and higher purpose, it is important to identify the art of spiritual warfare and to know that we are not warring against the physical, but the spirit is what we're warring against. And it's important to equip yourself with all the knowledge that you possibly can through reading, through listening to people that talk about it, or through meditation and prayer. Your ancestors will talk to you and tell you what they did. They always say, I thank God for my praying grandmother. You know, there's seasons where I've warred with spirit and I have been in prayer and meditation for 24 hours out of the day. Like from the minute I woke up, I'm warring. I'm in and out of my sleep, I'm warring with the spirit. You know, it's been days like that. It's been weeks. It's been months. I can remember years of coming in and out of that warfare.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
So I would
And
love to pass the mic back to you. I feel like there's something that you have to share.
I mean, um, for me, suicide was more based on just the need to be free from the responsibilities that we have here. Like I said, just when I first started on my path, just the awakening process, that was around 2017, I guess. I believe it was about 2017, where the old stuff just wasn't working, and I just wanted to know more. I felt like for me, Christianity just wasn't enough. Like it was, we go to church and, we would do all the things, but it just felt very orchestrated. It didn't feel organic for me. And so I just started asking a lot of questions. And the more questions I asked, the more answers that I got, the more memories started to come back of seeing different spaces and different times where I could remember being around my spirit family, and there was just love. There was all love. Like everybody understood that they had a job. Everybody was okay with whatever that was, and everybody just walked and functioned in love. There was no body. There was just energy, and just remembering that, and then coming like opening my eyes and like, damn, you mean I gotta participate in life? What is this? Like that feeling for me is what brought on more so. And then trying to walk in spaces where I knew I didn't belong, but because I wanted to either make money or to do life better or impress, my parents or somebody, it just drugged me further down into that hole until I just couldn't do it anymore. And it just became too much. But for me, like I said, that was more so just wanting to get back to that love feeling. And from this past experience, I realized that number one, being here is a choice. Like me choosing to wake up in the morning and do life, for me, even still right now, it's an everyday choice to actively want to participate in life. And then, I'm sorry, I have a bunch of thoughts. I have a bunch
We
of thoughts
are with
running through
you.
my mind.
We
And
pray.
then, huh?
So we are present with you.
Okay. I have a bunch of thoughts. I'm trying to make them all make sense in my as I'm speaking. But and then as I move forward from a few months ago till now, I understand that I don't have to leave here to find that love. I don't have to go elsewhere. Like it's already, even though I don't physically see it with my eyes, when I close my eyes and I'm in meditation, or sometimes just laying in my bed and my eyes are closed, I can physically feel the presence of all the love, all of my ancestors, all of my spiritual family, and even beyond that, beings that I'm not physically connected with now. I can feel all of that surrounding me, and I just feel warm and at peace. And it just made me realize like I'm not alone. Like I don't have to walk and function in this world as if I'm doing it totally by myself, that love is here if I allow it to be in. Because a lot of times I would push it away because I feel like I didn't deserve it. And that comes back to the self-love thing. But that crack of not wanting to be here and the whole thing that happened with that, just allow all of that to rush in like, we're here, we're not going anywhere, and we want to support you through this new process, and just allowing that love to flow in and to be with me. And even just over the past few days, I was saying to myself, like, I just feel so loved today. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because, it's a period, I'm feeling emotional or what. I just feel so loved, and just, I could close my eyes and I just feel all of this love just surrounding me and just wanting to be a part of my life, and allowing that in is just such a blessing, and it just opens so many more doors for different ideas to flow in that would have never came if I didn't allow it to happen. So I just feel so blessed. I feel so blessed. And just even looking at my life situation now, I'm starting to really appreciate where I am, appreciate the house that I live in, the car that I drive. I would always be like, oh, I wish I had this and I wish I had that. I'm like, no, like when I come home, even though my home is kind of messy right now, I still can sit on my couch and like, okay, this feels like love. This feels like peace. This feels like a place that I want to be, that I can actually flourish in. When I don't want anybody in my space, I can just be myself. And I actually, I have all these dreams, the things that I want to do, but right now, today, I don't want to be nowhere else but right here. And it's beautiful, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I hope all that's helpful to somebody who's listening, for
All
sure.
that's helpful and is amazing. And you know what I find? We all be saying the same thing. We just be saying it in a different tongue.
Hmm. For sure.
So that
For
helps me learn unconditional love even more. I think for me, when I started learning to give myself more grace, then I was able to give other people more grace. When I started to learn to love my unique expression, then I was able to admire or appreciate other people's unique
sure.
expression of themselves.
Yes.
And I want to comment on something that you said. What I heard from what you said was you started to stand in your authority and your power after you went through the dark night of the soul or the spiritual awakening, and you've ascended to a new dimension of understanding, which allowed you to see, oh, I'm not alone on this journey. I have a whole heavenly staff. I have ancestors. I have benevolent spirits working on my behalf. I just wasn't aware of them this time period throughout life because distractions through our food, distractions through jobs where we feel like we have to be focused, obligated to the worldly things. I said something earlier. If you're not following my group on Facebook, it's called We're All Connected. If you need the link, direct message me. But I do a group prayer every Sunday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And the message in the group was as above, so below. Uh, as it is in heaven on earth. And so in that understanding, this is the things I speak about are not things that church taught me, by the way, too. Like I left church a long time ago because I was experiencing things that were not being talked about in church at all. And I'm like, oh, I don't think this is the place for me. I went into the esoterics. I went into other religions. Uh, I found myself in some parts of my journey looking at covens amongst witches, warlocks, and I found myself around a lot of dark places and a lot of light places. In all those places, I was able to find the light. There was light in all of those places and spaces. But nevertheless, to bring on the point that I'm trying to bring up here is us as a physical vessel, we are connected to the earth and we're connected to something above the earth. It's like imagine us in the middle, like how the earth is spinning on an axis. This is us. Okay, and the heavenly staff or the higher dimensions are above us, and the earthly, things that take place, like the experiences we can have with nature, how we can grow things. We can touch a seed and plant it and touch the soil and it can sprout up before our eyes. That ability is through the connection of above and below. And when we're in this world, there's a process that takes place in disconnection. We kind of forget our soul contract. But when we go through those awakenings and we start to remember pieces of our soul's contract and what we agreed to do when we got here, and we start to understand, oh, I'm not just here to have fun like everybody else. I can't just get away with what everybody else is doing.
Yes.
I,
Yeah.
I do what they do, and I don't have the same consequences because I have a higher purpose, higher calling. And in
Yes.
that understanding, you start to realize, oh, I gotta check up. I gotta consciously be aware to check in, to tap in, so that I can be able to bring down from heaven onto the earth the things that I am here to fulfill and to do my purpose. In that responsibility, I would say, I kicked my feet. I ran from my purpose as long as I could run, which is when we experience that ego death, which
Hell
is
yeah.
when we experience, I ran as far as I could go off in the corner. I hid as much as I could hide. I couldn't hide anymore. That's why this platform has been created, because the mother was like, yeah, I'm getting whoopings, do it. I said, do it now. You better get up and talk about
Hell
this.
yeah. She
You better
gonna
talk about what I'm telling you about. you
listen.
know you better share those experiences of your life. You don't got to come on here being super philosophical, but
Yeah.
just share your experience. Somebody can grow from you just sharing your experience and
Right.
being vulnerable. That's what's missing in a lot of churches, and that's why we go away from the church, because the church is really the body. This is the temple. When two or more gather, you can have church, because two people that are connected as above and so below can come together. You got your people with you. You feel all your people, your ancestors, all your spirit guides rocking with you. My people here too. We are in our family, dabbing each other like, hey, it's been a long time, blah, blah, blah. Because when we was a part of the everything, the end all, we were all connected to that. We're still connected to that right now. It's just our people specifically. This is why we're here. Our people specifically have been robbed of that understanding. Other nationalities and cultures, they still have that. I did hair and makeup full time. I would travel and go into people's houses. I've been into Indian people's houses. I've been into Latino people's houses. I've been into Chinese people's houses. I always see altars. I always see things set up to honor those that came before, those that are still present, and what's going on going forward. I always see the honoring of that. You go into the Black household or the Native American household, because I don't know like where y'all are on y'all journey, but I'm indigenous to this land,
Yeah.
and my people told me I got to start speaking the truth about that. I
Yeah.
can't I can't not say that. We are my people. I don't know what y'all identify as, but me and my people, we are indigenous to this land. We were indigenous to Louisiana, and we also have traveled all over the world teaching things to other individuals of our way of life. And in that understanding, there was a mass genocide that took place. And in that mass genocide, we came back and we're recalling things that were taken away, because it got to a point where we couldn't talk about these things. People were getting killed for talking about these things. So that is why there's that fear in the throat chakra. That's why when we come back with this trauma and this thing that's trying to prevent us from speaking the truth, because we gotta strip off that karma and know that we don't die, we only transition into a higher level of existence. But we do gotta be smart. We do got to be in tune. We do got to move collectively in a way that has not been done before. Because if we keep repeating the cycles from the past, we'll find ourselves repeating those cycles. They always end the same way. So when you truly know that you tapped in, then you know that when two or more gather, I can tell you, let me say, I will say this. I will say, I'm gonna say this. This is gonna be funny, and this is gonna go over a lot of people's heads. Okay, I'm gonna sing a nursery rhyme. I think it's a nursery rhyme. I'm gonna say, skip to the loo, skip to the loo, skip to the loo, my darling, skip to the loo. You know what I'm saying? And I can
Yeah.
say those words, but telepathically, I'm telling you something else. Telepathically, I'm telling you, read between the lines.
What are the
Because
lyrics
those
again?
who have eyes can see, those who have ears can hear. I don't
Yeah.
got to tell you nothing. My people are already connected. We already getting the understanding. If you're
Yeah.
not getting the understanding, you're not my people. And I'm sorry, but you're just not. And we got to come to understanding that we tried to teach in past lifetimes ancestral things to people who did not have the ability to, it's like that story I shared earlier, giving the child that you know that's not mature the responsibility when you know they not gonna do right. You know they're gonna lose the money on the way to the store, so why you gave it to them in the first place? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's important for us indigenous people to start pouring the information, the wealth and the wisdom down the bloodline. It is important to start doing this so this could go upwards and underneath, which is seven above, seven below, which is seven generations back, seven generations forward. The work that we are doing is for this moment present in time, but it is in our DNA where true healing is taking place. It is meaning that the child that is birthed through our womb will not have to experience the same fears. They will come with ancestral connection. They won't have to discover. You were chosen to get to the root of things and bring down things that have been lost as a pattern below because of things that have been wiped away from our culture, from our ancestry. And so when we come and we do the healing and we get to the understanding of why these things were taken away, they were taken away because if we truly know who we are, then we will know that we don't gotta conform to working a 9 to 5, all the time, that is suppressing our natural nature. I'll say this one thing, and I want to hear your feedback, Crystal. God has given me many missions. Some missions have had me working a job with people. And in those times where I felt, God, why are you calling me to be here? And I'm not talking about the times where you know God is saying you need to leave. I'm talking about the times where God tell you to go somewhere and you wonder, why am I here? And then you identify, oh, I'm here to convict this person's heart. I'm here to be the light, to be love for this specific person right there that God chose, that I can tell is chosen as well. And God is trying to save them. God is working through me around this person to save them because they are too chosen. And through me being the light, through my presence around them, they are being impacted to choose the path of righteousness, to keep walking towards the light, to
Yes.
get on their purpose, to not forget, because something in the world happened traumatic to them that distracted them from their true mission and purpose here. And that's what we're here to do. Not all of us are called to be speakers, coaches, gurus that travel all over the world that are worshipped for these great skills and talents that we can offer and dangle. You know, some of us literally have the task of going into those places in incognito roles and positions and missions, and going in there to be the light, to save those that you're supposed to save. And then when God say move, the next opportunity falls in your lap, you go there and the mission continues. God know I get bored, so God give me different things. I do different things, you know,
Hell
because I would
yeah.
get bored. I don't like doing the
Girl,
same
listen.
thing.
Hell yes. And you know what? I feel like this job has definitely been that for a few reasons. I had already told you I had talked to someone. And we are definitely 100% twin flames. And I know, like, even if I play things out in my head about how things could have went, there's no point in which I would not have talked to him, because it just like you like a magnet to a flame kind of thing. He's just a beautiful person, but I feel like I definitely, not just for him, but other people there have been put there to really, for me, it's definitely planting seeds. I feel like I'm here to plant seeds in people's mind that can blossom into something else. I don't feel like I'm necessarily, I mean, for some people, I will be able to see how those seeds grow and how they blossom. But for the most part, I know I'm here to just put a little bit on somebody's mind. And it just so happens, which I spoke to him the other day. I we talked a few weeks ago, and we had a really long conversation, just like bouncing off each other. I could just, the energy was just high, and it was just beautiful. And he's listening to me and I'm listening to him. And then we didn't talk for a while, and then I talked to him this week. And just in a few weeks, the total transformation is just like beautiful to watch, like literally watching a butterfly. I was like, do you know, I wish I had a recording so you could hear how you sound when I first met you versus now. Like, you are 180% a different person, like totally different. You're like, really? I'm like, hell yeah. And it's such a beautiful thing to see. And I see, like, I work in a place where I'm surrounded by men, lots of men. And I see the pain. Like I was telling you, I definitely feel like I have a special place in my heart for men, because we women, we have a lot of things stacked against us for sure. But I feel like for men it's double, because when a woman is emotional or all, whatever way we feel, it's kind of expected. But when a man is, he's completely torn apart, especially by other men. So they only get to lead half lives. And I see that all around me, and it's so painful just to see these men not to be the full expression of themselves. I see some men who have the ability to touch other people's lives, but because they're so stuck in this role in their mind, and they're too afraid to deviate, or maybe they just don't have the tools to be able to know how to deviate and redefine what a man is for themselves, they just kind of stay in that one place. And there's a few people that I work around. I just plant little seeds here and there of like how this is how things could be for you. This is how things could look for you. Or maybe you want to try this, or maybe you want to try that. And I can see a little bit of turning in their mind, just a little bit of shift in perspective. And that for me means more than anything, because I know what that feels like, to just hear something and be like, huh, I didn't think of it that way. Or just to hear something and it don't make sense in that moment, but later on it just blossoms into something. I feel like I'm the result of many seeds that has been planted by so many people. Um, I know in the live earlier, y'all were talking about devotion. For me, well, devotion and discipline. I hate the word discipline. I just straight up hate that word. Like, it low key pisses me off. But I'm okay with the word devotion. Because I don't like nobody telling me what I'm doing. But That's just trauma coming up. But I do like the word devotion. And for me, devotion has looked like, listening to podcasts or watching YouTube videos where people are speaking some really beautiful things into my spirit, listening to certain type of music. Y'all, if y'all don't know who Lava Lavva is, y'all need to go check her out. Like, she will literally speak life into your life. And her partner is called Free Soul. Free FR3, like threes instead of E, Free SOL. Oh my God, like y'all need to check them out. They are some of the most amazing young sorceress and sorcerer type artists. Like, they will literally sow some beautiful things into your life. And sometimes I would just listen to Lava's album all day. I wouldn't listen to nothing else. And I could see the results of just all of that combined over the past like 5 or 6, however long 2017 was. All of those years into now, it's just, you want to just take a little bit of time to just find something. Like, I was telling one of the guys that I work with, he does like podcasting for new artists. I can't remember his YouTube handle, but um, he was talking about this is something that he wants to do. And I'm like, okay, we could take a step there. Like, we could take a step in that direction if you just do just a little bit of this. Hey, why don't you listen to this person? And I could just see the turning of his mind, just like he's such a great person. He's able to mesh with other people so well, just any type of personality. And I'm like, you have the ability to be like a diplomat between two different types. I just see a whole life for him. And it's beautiful. But if you just take, I was telling him, just take a little bit of time and listen to something, just a little something that feeds your spirit, even if it's for 5 minutes, just something that makes you feel good, something that makes you feel connected. If it's a podcast, if it's maybe reading the Bible or whatever it could be for you, just take a little bit of time every day to try to change your mind about how you see life, about how you see yourself. And I'm telling you, it blossoms into something beautiful. And I am a result of that. And I'm so proud of myself. I want to give praise to myself for that, just staying dedicated enough to see things through, and for my spirits being around me to get me to this point where I can see things from a bird's eye view over the years. Like, okay, now I understand. But you just want to have that little bit of devotion. I feel like that's a devotion for me. It's just putting something small, even if it's all day or if it's just a few minutes a day, something small that feeds me and feeds my spirit and awakens a side of me that I know is there, that sometimes I just don't know how to touch. Sometimes my mind is too filled with other stuff for meditation to work, but sometimes music works. Sometimes just speaking to myself, my own truth can work. Just getting things out into the open can open up a whole new world for yourself that you only dreamed about. It's so possible to have so much more. um, a lot of times I would beat myself up about, how things may look on the outside. But when I look at my inside and just like look at all this beauty that's formed as a result of these years of trying, just trying, like all the mother requires of us, of myself, is just to try, just a little bit of try. Can you give me like 5 minutes today? No matter how that looks. Sometimes meditation don't do it, so I go dance. I feel like the mother is most active in me when I'm dancing or when I'm doing some sort of walking or some sort of yoga. Sometimes I'll do 6 push-ups and then I'll just have a conversation with her through them 6 push-ups because I'm not good at push-ups. But I'll do a little bit of that, and it's just a little bit of connection that leads you into something much more amazing. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that.
First and foremost, I want to say, hey, Marissa, I miss you. And secondly, I want to say, oh my God, like we got to do this again because your light is just shining. I feel like I'm on a couch watching a TV show or a podcast. Or,
Are you sure?
like, this is a really good show. Okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
so grateful for your transparency.
Thank you.
I will say this. Let me give Marissa a shout out. Marissa is an amazing makeup artist. Um, she is, I believe, still based out of Phoenix, Arizona. And if you can see her avatar, baby, lip gloss, lipstick, okay, lashes, liner, okay. You know, I love a good beat. And I definitely got to shout out a fellow makeup artist. So I got to say that we do care. Two twin Draco. We do care. We do. Well, that's why we're here, because we do care. We care.
Okay.
Okay. LA. Woo, based out of LA. Woo, woo. And she travel, okay?
That's what's
I
up.
want to say
I
this.
know that's right. Get that money, honey.
I want to say this. I want to say I thank God for taking us both and, you know, remolding us, reshaping our minds, our bodies, and our spirits to do the work that we do. We don't get awards for this.
Well,
Like, from the
I mean,
okay,
I
let me
feel
start.
rewarded. Like I feel rewarded by this
I
joy.
mean by the, I mean by the very people who we help, the very
Yeah,
people who we make the sacrifices for, oftentimes don't even recognize that we are doing the magnitude of what we're doing. I mean, when you plant a seed in someone, not all the time will you see instantly in that moment that that person was impacted. You may not ever see, but just know that that seed that was planted within them is multiplying. Somebody else is going to come and water that seed, and you may see that person blossom into something totally different. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by that. I'm not saying that working for God don't come with benefits, because it does. It comes with a great peace. It
yeah,
comes with a love that nothing else can match, to where you want to keep going back. You fiend for it. You fiend
right.
for connected
Very,
to the Creator,
very
because
true.
nothing ever replaces
Very,
that love. But I'm talking about worldly things like money. No amount of money can make you feel that way.
no,
No amount of material gain can make you feel that way. You know, and it's a matter of choosing to be devotional, like Crystal said, every day, to honor the God within, the relationship you have with the Creator, and putting that relationship before anything else in the world. And then everything else comes second to that, because from there, that's when you get, you know, all your needs provided for. I'm not saying that I don't like a life of lavish and luxury, okay? That ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is those things alone didn't do it for me. It wasn't until I was able to realize that nothing's going to make me feel this way. So if I stop looking for fulfillment in these areas, then I will realize that those things are to add to what is already coming from within. They're to multiply what's already coming from within. But I can't be dependent on those things, because I'm not from this world.
right,
I'm otherworldly. Okay.
right, for sure.
So I want to end it with that and just say, peace and blessings. Somebody say, "Come on, cousin. Are we cousins? Who your mama? Who your people? This is how my people talk, Louisiana. Who's your people? Who your people? Who your mama? What's your mama name? Let me see if I know your mama. If I know your mama, then maybe you can get on this live. But if I don't know your mama, I don't know. I'm curious to know who this is for real. Hold on one second.
You got lurkers.
I got time to play games today. I can't go to your page, whoever you are, but if you tell me who your mama is and I happen to know your mama, maybe you can get on here. Crystal, is there anything that you want to say to everyone that may come across this, or people that have been tuning in with us, um,
Um,
that you want to leave a lasting seed that they're gonna water all month long, and they can always come back to this video and add more water to that seed that's
no
planted?
pressure. No, but I guess what I would have to say, the biggest transformational thing for me has been telling the truth. Like really getting nitty gritty with the truth. That has been, I mean, everything else was wonderful, but I don't feel like things really, really changed until I told the truth to myself. Like, you know what, maybe I do feel like that, or yeah, that is kind of my issue, or maybe shit, maybe I'm being a hater right now, or maybe I'm just really being honest about how you feel with whatever's going on. So if I have something that triggered me and it just like really got my gears going, it pissed me off and I'm neck popping, okay, I need to be honest with
Egg
myself.
popping.
Neck popping. Okay, because we go there. Don't try me. But but no, seriously, like if it gets me on that level, I'm like, damn, Crystal, why are you so pissed off? Like, what about this really just made you go there? And I'm like, well, that person said that, and it reminded me of how my father used to talk to me, and that just pissed me off. Or that reminded me of something my mom said to me when I was a little kid, and that made me feel small. And I felt really small when they said that to me. And that reminded me of what that girl said to me back in sixth grade when she did whatever, and it embarrassed me, and I just felt embarrassed in that moment. And just taking those moments and just letting yourself absorb what it is that you actually felt, and going back to that little girl and saying, I'm sorry that I didn't have the tools to protect you at that moment because I didn't know. But I have them now, and I apologize. And just holding myself close, like we are all we really need, really, right now. Like the mother's here, everybody's here, but I am what I really need right now in this moment. And just letting that truth be what it is, or if it's relationship wise, like he hurt me and that remind me of what he said to me and that day. Just letting myself cry, because a lot of times we as women, we get so, we don't want, we got to be strong, strong black women, child. We got to be strong, child. Strong black womenness will get us too strong to allow ourselves to feel, and just allowing myself to cry, allowing myself to feel like my heart is hurt. I'm hurt. I'm hurt right now. And just allowing myself to feel that pain and cry through that pain, and just know that when I stop crying, there's other love on the other side of that. There's my own love, and then there's love from the mother, and then there's love for everyone who loves me. And just allowing that love to be in and heal that pain. The truth is, they say the truth set you free, honey. The truth clears out all of that crap in the back room, because that back room will get you in trouble. Like I got one right now I need to clean out. But when you start clearing out that stuff from the back room, all that stuff we don't want to, some stuff is too much. Like I got some stuff that's in my back room that's just like I can't touch that right now. But this little bit of thing right here, this little jar of peanut butter, I can pick that up off the floor. I can deal with that. I can see if it's bad. I can throw that away. I can throw that away. And when you start doing that, pulling that stuff out of your back room, you allow, and just leave the door open a little bit, let some fresh air flow in that thing. And you'll find, just a little bit of love just snuck its way in there, and just kind of permeated through all the crap, and the crap don't feel as crappy as it used to anymore. Just allowing that truth to really just be released allows the love to flow in. And when that love gets in, it's easier to see, it's easier to love yourself, and it's easier to see love in others and have grace for others, for sure. And I've definitely found that more now, especially with some of the people that I work with that are intense. I can see the pain through all of that intensity, because I felt that pain, and clearing out that pain allowed me to just have love for them, instead of just taking on that angriness that I had before. So tell yourself the truth, girl, boy, whoever. Tell yourself the truth. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to free up some things and let love flow in to those really painful moments. And let yourself cry. Man, woman, whoever. Let yourself cry. Ain't nothing wrong with crying. You go in the back room, go somewhere quiet where you can be safe, where you can feel safe. Create like I create a safe place for myself in my room next to my altar in my little floor chair. And just allowing myself to really just heal over and cry and just let it all out. It just feels so much better after that. So truth, clearing, love. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
That was amazing. I want to say hood_random. God bless you. You are such a vessel to be used in this moment to shine so much light on us. Oh my God, I feel so much love from you. Ooh, all the
Right?
blessing that you just spoke over me, you and two twin Draco, all this love. Like, What did I ever do to deserve all of this
Like
love?
we popular now, girl. We got haters. Well, we
And
popular.
I feel love from that. I feel love. Like I feel, oh my God, thank
Yeah.
you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You motivate me every day to get on here and be the best, greatest version of myself. So to add to what Crystal said, take these two seeds, y'all. Plant these seeds tonight or tomorrow, whenever it's convenient, and water these seeds every day. To add to that, I will say, once you speak the truth to yourself and you allow yourself to be honest with yourself, where you are today in this present moment, um, know that you can take where you are and create something so very beautiful. Because although you may feel like you are not healed, you're never going to get to a place of being healed. No
Yeah.
one in this world is healed.
Yeah. That's a big lesson for sure.
You're going to constantly have things to heal. And some things you'll find you can heal them at the root, and you come back and you find it's a little more residue. Like
Yeah,
sweeping. You
for sure.
sweep up some dirt off the floor and you move the dustpan back, and it's like, dang, it's still some more trash. And it may be so small. You sweep it up and it's still something there. It's going to forever be something that can be brought to the greatest level. Because God is the ultimate creator. God is always evolving us, evolving, evolution. If something dies, it only dies to create something anew. Okay? And so that means be who you are, shine your light where you are, and know that you have something to offer and something to give. You still have something to give wherever you are. Wherever you feel like you are in your broken place, you still have some light to share in the world. Okay, one more thing. This person says, whoa. Now you know it's real when people start letting spirits use them. You come to the light to be healed, baby. And I hope that you receive deliverance. I cast out the spirit in Yeshua's name. I cast out the spirit of deception, the spirit that has been using you to do whatever you are in
Girl,
our children. Because God don't play about the kids. And whoever you are working for whatever spirit you're working for and letting that spirit use you, just know that the God that is within has already killed off any demonic spirits and entities that have tried to infiltrate any child or anyone. It's no weapon formed that shall prosper over here. But I thank you for the attempt, and I thank you for those blessings, because my people, they don't play about me, okay? They know that I'm so sweet, so they do all the dirty work for me. And I hope that they are able to touch you right now, reach out and touch you and
yeah.
convict your heart right now in Yeshua's name. I pray Ashe and amen. I pray conviction over your heart right now in this moment. And I thank you for being used for somebody else to see how to stand in their authority and power, and to know that you don't have to bow down to anything demonic or anything below. We actually look at those things and we laugh because they don't even touch the bottom of our feet. So I happy new moon, y'all. Plant those seeds. Water,
Yeah.
water those seeds every
They want,
day. Add a little bit of sprinkle.
they want somebody to see them because they feel unseen. So we see you, baby. It's all right.
Exactly.
You
You
know,
are
God
loved
loves you. God
unconditionally.
loves
You are
you.
loved
It's
where you
all
are.
right. Yeah, right.
You know,
We
they
pray.
kind of went with the message. God
Yes.
can use you wherever you are. God can
Yeah.
take even you, somebody that wants to play on Instagram. God can
Especially,
take you and make something special
especially,
out of you. And I'm just so grateful that the seeds that have been planted, because your energy, you're feeding energy into this space. And I thank you for allowing your energy to be
like,
used in
thank you for the
this space.
views. Oh my God. And the comments. Okay. You getting this spread around. Matter of fact, share with your friends, your
Okay.
family, everybody you
Okay.
know.
And crystal
Thank
earrings that she
you.
made are shooting down all that demonic energy. Pew, pew. Clarifying all of this is clear crystal quartz. Pew, 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 pew. If y'all notice, I've been
Silly
swinging
girl.
the whole video. I've been swinging the whole video. Peace and
Yes.
blessings. Getting up off of here,
All
y'all.
right.
Thank y'all for the love. Thank you for the support. Make sure you stay connected. I want to do this every Sunday. I do like to free flow, so don't hold me to it. But if you message me, Jazz, I want to talk about something this Sunday with you. Blah, blah, blah. I want Crystal back on. Blah, blah, blah. Just
Oh,
message.
Lord.
All right, join the group. We're all connected on Facebook so that you can be a part of the weekly prayer. And peace and blessings.
Bye.